Okay, I'm gonna go and fill this with water first, change the water. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna be answering questions on my experience of first year, and I think what I'm gonna do is answer questions, and while I'm answering questions I'm gonna be painting, and I think this is a good way for me to actually do this and not feel awkward in front of the camera. Yeah, I'm painting this painting of an eagle. This summer I have become obsessed with Harry Potter and I've listened to all the books and everything. Today I will be answering questions that you guys asked. Some of the questions I won't be going into much detail because it's just too much to say about that question, and I will answer it in another video. But for now, I'll try my best to answer as many as I can and get this out to you as fast as I can. I've already recorded this the first time and then it didn't go well. It was too much background noise, it was too noisy, it was too messy, so I think take two, hopefully last take, and I hope you enjoy it. So we'll start with the first question. Do you think it's possible to have a part-time job while studying medicine? Yes. Well, for me, I started my part-time job towards the end of the first year. It was okay for me. My plan is to work in second year, but I'm not sure if, you know, if it'll be like okay for me to do that or not. I plan on definitely not working in third year because third year, fourth year and fifth year count towards the degree, so I want to focus on my degree. But first year and second year don't really count towards the degree, so my plan is to work through them. But I think it's possible. I've seen other people work as well part-time. At the end of the day, if it is impacting on your education, don't do it. It's not worth it. What placement hospitals are associated with RCSI? Well, they have it on their website and on their prospectus, and I can link that below and then you can see the list of hospitals. Would you recommend spending fifth year summer working or studying for Leaving Cert or HPAT? Smaya, what do you think? Would you recommend spending fifth year summer working or studying for the Leaving Cert or HPAT?
Oh, studying.
Studying?
Yeah.
Have you studied?
No. But even though I've never studied, but like if I was someone who would want to get good, like
yeah,
really
good marks,
good, like top marks,
yeah,
I would rather study than work.
Okay, that's her answer.
But I'm not gonna do it.
You're not gonna do it.
I'm probably not gonna
For me, I actually did study. For me, I thought I needed that. It's up to you. You yourself know. I remember one of the teachers told us that, you know, you yourself know how many hours you're supposed to be studying. You're old enough at this point, and like, you know, you've got the common sense enough to like understand where you're at, what level you're at, what you need to do, what course you want to get and what points you want to get. I would recommend working, studying, whatever it is, having fun if you want to, having a break, definitely having a break before sixth year, but have a balance of everything. I think fifth year was like the year, the summer of fifth year was the year that I actually had a proper balance in terms of like studying and having fun and having a break. Not having fun really, but you know, having a break and relaxing and trying to calm myself down before sixth year. I think the summer after the Leaving Cert was my worst summer in terms of like balance and, you know, being calm, and that was because of all the Leaving Cert nonsense of last year. So you know yourself. I don't really give out so much advice in this kind of stuff because I think everyone is different. I can't give the advice of the stuff that I did if that's not going to work for someone else. Tips for changing from studying to Leaving Cert to studying at university. Wait, let me just start with this paint because I did not do anything yet. I think you should not worry about getting it right. You're in first year, you've just come from like a completely different school system. You're gonna have to learn how to adapt. You're gonna have to learn how to do different, like, you know, study methods and all of that. I think you shouldn't worry about trying to do well, trying to do perfect. Like, if it comes naturally to you and if it comes easy to you, then that's fine. For me, it was like first exam that I got, the first like result that I got from college, I was like, damn, I'm so stupid. I felt so stupid. I did so badly. But I had to keep reminding myself that I'm coming from a different like education system kind of thing. I came from just memorizing things to having to understand things and memorizing it in a different way and all of that. The one tip that I would give is to not put too much pressure on yourself. Keep trying to figure out your learning method, but don't get too upset if you're not doing as well as you were doing in secondary school. Another thing is to use Anki or flashcards or active recall or whatever. I don't know why, I just started out of nowhere doing notes. When I started college, I thought that was a thing that you do, but that was stupid and it's not a thing that you should do. Don't be writing notes. Doing flashcards was the best thing, and I started doing that at the end of the year. That was the best thing for learning and memorizing and that kind of stuff. Is it stressful? Then the leaving cert. It's stressful in the fact that there is so much information in so little time, and so, you know, you get overwhelmed. But remembering that, like, you know, I'm trying my best, I'm changing from one system to another system, I'm, you know, adapting and all of that. That made me feel less worried and less stressed. I think there was like a saying that was like, P's get degrees or C's get degrees or something like that. That's like my mantra now. I don't worry about doing really well. If I do really well, I'm really happy and proud of myself. But if I don't do really well, I'm like, at least you passed. That was the aim. And if you don't, it's fine. You're gonna keep going. You're gonna be able to do it. For incoming students, it would be amazing if you could share your experience on campus, if ever you had the chance, and general information. Okay, so the campus that we were on is 26 York Street, and we were based there. We didn't really get to experience the campus much during the first semester because it was all like, you know, lockdown and all of that. And as soon as we left the lecture hall, it was, you know, get out. That was the thing. We never got to like stay around, so it was, you know, as soon as we finished, we didn't really know anyone, and it was like, you know, kind of awkward just to sit there by yourself, so we just like, you know, leave. Well, I'm just talking from my experience. We just like leave, and then so we never really got to talk to each other. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe other people really did bond with other people and make friendships and stuff like that, but I never really started making, you know, hanging out with people until towards the end, when it was more like okay to like hang around and stuff afterwards, and it wasn't as like, I guess, scary to hang around with other people, and that was nice and fun. So hopefully next year we'll be able to have fun as well. We're gonna be in Croke Park, so that's gonna be a bit more far away, and I feel like a lot of people are not gonna even bother coming in. I hope as well that more people will be allowed on campus at the same time, because like towards the end of the year, more people were on campus at the same time, and so it was like, you know, you'd be able to see more people, and it was nice to socialize and all of that. Yeah, hopefully I'll be vlogging more, be more confident vlogging in public, and I'll vlog about my experience going to Croke Park in, you know, second year and all of that. What is your biggest takeaway from year one? I think I answered this question. I think one thing that I learned is to just, you know, kind of let go and not be too worried about trying to do everything and trying to be really good at everything, and, you know, trying to do like top grades in all of my exams and stuff like that. That's one thing that I can take away. I'm way more relaxed and laid back about that, about grades. Did your expectations meet reality in terms of intensity of work? Kind of, yeah. I think like I can never know what specifically we're gonna do, but I knew it was gonna be hard. The expectation of the intensity of like just stuff we have to know was kind of a lot. The thing that shocked me the most was how much I didn't know how to study. That's what shocked me the most. How did you find the transition from secondary school to university? Again, I think I answered this question. It was hard. I think that was the hardest bit. The transition and trying to figure out how I'm gonna study, that kind of stuff. That was the hardest thing for me. Not really like the learning and stuff. Maybe the heart. Heart was kind of hard. Going from being like the top of the class to being average was like a big shock to me. Which sounds weird, but I don't know. That's my experience. How did you find making friends? I think I answered this as well. It was okay. And for me, I'm optimistic in a really weird way. So I'm like even if I have like these experiences, I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't made friends yet, I'm like, I will make friends. So that was my mindset from like day one, and my expectations of first year in terms of like friends and stuff is completely different, because in my mind going to college, I thought I would meet people from loads of different, like all the different courses and all the different years and stuff like that, but we haven't been able to meet anyone from any other year in person, and the people that we've met in person are like small group in our learning community. But in that learning community, like I have met some really nice people and really amazing people. I think the thing that you have to do is you have to put yourself out there. Go and talk to people, you know, meet people, and the right people will stick and they will stay around and they will be with you, and it will be really nice to have that kind of support of friends and stuff like that. And you know, everyone is nice. Almost everyone is nice. There's very few people that are mean. So if you go out there and you put yourself out there and you talk and you say hi and you know, ask how are you, and you give them a smile and a wave, then like, you know, I feel like people will appreciate that. Like, I appreciate when people say hi to me. People will appreciate if you go up there and say hi and, you know, start a conversation. Or what's one thing you wish you knew? Honestly, I don't really have something that I wish I knew, because I'm glad I went through all the experiences that I've went through, and if I knew them then I wouldn't have gone through the experiences. Yeah, I already know I don't know loads of stuff, and every single experience that I have, everything that I do, I will learn more stuff. So I don't really look back and think, oh, I wish I knew that. You don't need to know anything before you start whatever it is. Like, if you're gonna start medicine or you're gonna start at RCSI, you will figure it out, and that's the good thing. That's the beauty of it. You gotta figure it out. Were the assumptions about med school true? For me, I had assumptions, but not about like the actual content and learning and stuff like that. Okay, that was weird. It just stopped. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I had assumptions about like the social life and that kind of stuff, not about med school. Like, you know, for me, the end game is to be a doctor. So I think me like going through content wise, like academic wise, like school wise, I think did not have assumptions about that. Assumptions about the actual like college. I had assumptions about like the students and how they were and everything. I don't know, I kind of felt like, oh yeah, I'll have like, they'll be a lot more similar to me, because in secondary school I loved my friends and I enjoyed like, you know, their company and all that, but I never could have like, you know, conversations that I like, you know, wish I could have. I thought that people, like, I'd find people who are more interested in the things that I'm interested in, but at the same time I'm like, maybe it's because I haven't really met a lot of people. I remember at higher option I asked someone from the UCD stand, like, I don't know, I forgot what I asked them. The thing that they told me was, you know, whatever college you go to, you're gonna meet people who enjoy the same things as you. It doesn't matter what college you go to. And I was like, yeah, and I, you know, that's what I came in thinking. But so far I haven't. Maybe it's because I'm not putting myself out there enough or I'm not sharing as much, or, you know, talking about the things that I'm interested in. How is the environment of study at RCSI, the facilities, the people, the Muslim community? So start by the environment of study. Can't really tell you about that because of COVID. But you know, everyone in class is like, when we're in lectures, are, you know, focused and everything. It's not like people are playing games while we're studying and all that, and people do ask questions. It's weird that, you know, the lecture hall was so empty. For me, it was like so much more difficult to ask questions when you're sitting there in like an empty thing. And I don't know, it feels really weird. And just thinking that the whole lecture hall is supposed to be filled with like 300 to 400 students, that blows my mind. But yeah, people ask questions, and you know, there are people who like ask so many good questions, and you're like, damn, they're so smart. I don't even understand this lecture. I don't even understand it enough to ask questions, and you're here asking questions. People are very dedicated and very smart. In terms of like the facilities that they have, it is really good. They have an amazing library. I love it. It looks really nice, and we had to like book the library if we wanted to go. From my experience, it was really good. And the Muslim community, I feel like there probably is a really big Muslim community there, but I haven't really met a lot of people. I have met people from the Muslim community in my like learning community, but I don't know, I haven't really experienced it as much since it's really online, and you can't really experience how people are online. Going through these questions kind of makes me feel like I don't even know the college yet so far, but I have years. I have a few more years, so that'll be nice. Hoping to study vet med. How do med school study techniques differ to leaving cert study? I think you have to be way more smart about the time you spend studying. I have to do more simple, basic study techniques. I don't really have the time to be doing as much nice, lovely, beautiful. But I think one thing that for me, and for so many different med students that I've watched their videos and I've talked to, flashcards are the way to go. notes are not really the way to go. For some people, I actually think it works for them and they can retain information like that, but I have realized that for me, only flashcards is the way to go. And for me, like, I would use active recall in leaving cert as well. Study smart, use evidence-based methods of studying. How long did you study for the HPAT? I studied from November, I think I started in November or like October. I started really late because I couldn't, like, I started with all the like free resources and everything, but at that point I didn't have money yet to buy the med entry course, so I had to wait until that point, until like November. I guess if it would have been earlier, I might have been able to do a bit more well in my HPAT, but it was okay. I bought the online one. I didn't use the full one, the premium one, or I don't know which one. I used the cheapest one that they had, and I think that was enough for me. I didn't do the whole practice test where you went with other people and you did the whole practice test there. I didn't do that. I think I didn't really need that. I think it was during the day, the actual day of the HPAT, I was able to focus on just being there and not focusing on anyone else and pretending like I was still in my room doing it. Yeah, I started around November and the HPAT is in February. So what are the benefits of RCSI compared to other Irish med schools? I liked RCSI because it was international. It's very international. The majority of students by far are international students. I liked that because I didn't want to be like the odd one out as much. I wanted to be somewhere where not that I fit in, but I didn't stick out like a sore thumb like in secondary school. I think, yeah, if I had gone to another Irish college where most of the students are Irish students and most of the students don't look like me or aren't like me, and you know, the colleges aren't really used to having that kind of student cohort, like, you know, in secondary school they were not used to having a diverse community, so they could not facilitate for it and they would not believe it when we needed things. And so I think going to a college that's very international, they're able to accommodate. Like, I didn't even have to think about it or think about asking for it, and it's already there. Being able to go to a prayer room and actually go and pray and not have to worry or think about like, where the frick am I gonna pray this time? Like, where am I gonna pray today? I don't know about other colleges and if they would do that or not, and I think they'll probably be more accommodating because it's university. But yeah, I wanted to be as safe as possible and go to a place where they'd be more accommodating. I also love the fact that they support their students a lot. I think I've said it a lot of times and I'm gonna say it so many times and I'm gonna keep saying it if you're gonna keep asking me about it, but I really like the support that they've given me, and I hope that they would give support like that. And that was one thing that I was looking for when I was at Higher Options, and when I went to open days I would always ask, what mental health supports do you have for your students? And I felt that RCSI had like the best one. I'm sure like other colleges do have supports for students, but I think it was very accessible, very open, and it was very there and easy to access. Is there student accommodation? From my understanding, I think there is student accommodation. Like, if you go on the RCSI website, there are like student accommodations, but there's also Uni Nest, and they have accommodations that have RCSI students and Trinity students and DBS students and stuff like that. They organize students based on where you are, so like you will be placed in the same like apartment with other RCSI students unless you specifically, you know, ask for a specific group of people. How many hours do you study daily? Why do I always get this question? I do not look at hours ever when I'm studying. I think it's a waste of time for me. I only ever look at hours when I'm doing the Pomodoro method, but I always have a list and I use that list and I study based on that list. I cross off things on the list. Some things may take longer than other things, and that is okay, but I don't look at hours. It doesn't really matter. Can you balance school life and social life? You probably can. I haven't done that yet. Like, if you have been seeing my stories all this year, you would see that I have not been able to balance my social life and my school life. I have been asking people for tips non-stop this whole year, so I probably will keep doing that. There are probably people who know how to balance their lives. I don't. I'm not balanced. Are you studying over the summer? No, I have not studied over the summer. Maybe I should have. Sometimes I think maybe I should be studying, but then I also think, if I need to go and revise something, like if I don't really understand something and I need to revise a topic, I will do a specific topic based on what we are learning next year. But I am not revising. I am trying to enjoy myself. to no avail. Yeah, I decided to start working every day, which has made me so tired that I have not really enjoyed my summer. I have not studied, yes. Going off on a tangent, but no, I have not studied. How long do you usually study a day during the year? No, I'm not answering that question anymore. Don't ask me the question of how many hours I study. I don't even know. I don't know how many hours I'm studying. Is it similar to the foundation? I'm guessing you're saying, is it similar to foundation year? I think no year, like first year, second year, foundation is ever the same. I think foundation year, I haven't done foundation year, but I think foundation year is more like chemistry and stuff like that, and biology, and I have no idea. Guys, this is my new favorite color. Payne's Gray, my new favorite color. It's like a perfect black color that probably occurs in nature rather than an actual black. How do you find the motivation to study when you're not in the mood? Love your videos, by the way. Thank you. One thing that gives me motivation is seeing other people living what I want to live in the future, and that gives me a bit of, like, you know, motivation sometimes. Like if I watch someone having like a vlog on them like studying in 4th year, they're like upper years, or if I see other people doing it and I'm like inspired to do it, or if I see other doctors talking about them working or having a vlog of them working, that inspires me. But you know, there's a limited amount of that videos, and you can't always just be watching them. One thing that has really helped me keep on track is doing time lapses. That has been really like helpful for me because I cannot go on my phone or anything like that. I feel like someone's watching me because I post them on TikTok. I feel like someone's watching me, so then I just keep going, and I do it for an hour. That's like one time lapse is an hour of study. I do like 1 hour of study, and that's like the Pomodoro. I do 50 minutes and then 10 minutes. That's like an hour. I find a lot of motivation. Oh dear, I painted the wall. I get a lot of motivation from other students. So if I'm surrounded by people that I go to college with, like if I actually go to college, I'm way more motivated than if I'm by myself at home. I remember when I was in secondary school, like whenever we had a free class, I would focus on studying because I'm surrounded by other people who are focusing on doing work and all of that. So I think that's another motivation for me, if I'm with other people and we're all studying. These questions have given me a lot of ideas for videos, so thank you very much for the questions. Is RCSI lenient or good with their students? That's one thing that's scaring me a bit. Well, I don't really know. I haven't broken any of the rules that they've set. They're really strict about professionalism, and like we have, I don't know how many lectures on just professionalism. It's important to be like that. It's important to be disciplined like that, because you're gonna go into a field where you have, I'm gonna say, like, you know, you have a lot of power, and you know, it's not in like you have a power to manipulate people or anything, but you have a lot of power, control over people's health and people who are vulnerable and all of that. So you have to be strict, and they have to be strict with rules, and I think that's okay. I'm okay with that. They're training us for the career that we're gonna have. There's rules, we're gonna have to stick to them. I think that's the end. Thank you very much for the questions. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video that I make. Bye.